Joining me now to discuss is Representative Greg Landsman, Democrat of Ohio, and member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for taking time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Now Trump and Musk have painted quite a broad brush in terms of calling spending corruption, even when it's not corruption, right? That's some of it appears to be just spending they don't like. But they have enormous amount of power here. I wonder, do Democrats have a plan to slow any of this down, or are you, as the party, effectively leaving it to the courts?
Well, there's a couple things. One is the Congress is supposed to step up and check the executive. That's that's how the Constitution was set up, and so public opinion has to shift. And Democrats are going to, obviously play a role in shifting public opinion to make sure that people understand what's going on here, so that they start to call their Republican members of Congress, because they're in charge of the United States Congress, and Congress is supposed to check the executive and put guardrails in place. But what you're seeing in Elon Musk is not just the world's richest man, but he is trying to become the first trillionaire ever. And he has, by being powered by Trump, hacked into our data system, hacked into our payment systems, and is purging the federal government. He stands to make so much money. Yeah. He already has made, billions, tens of billions of dollars on federal contracts, and the markets know this. And so his ability to get inside and create this kind of chaos and move money potentially to him and to his companies will result in him and his net worth going up even higher. I mean, he, since the election, $200 billion in new wealth for Elon Musk. And so now the American people are dealing with higher prices and the kind of political corruption, potentially, that is incredibly damaging. And so, for Democrats, they have to be, or we have to be, very clear about what's happening.
One thing he hasn't, at least I'm not aware of it, is looked at to see if any of his large federal contracts involve wasteful spending. We'll see if that ends up one of his targets as well. I want to turn to Russia's war on Ukraine, because the president said, in light of the release of Mark Fogel, that could be a sign of good faith that might lead to some progress in negotiations over ending the war. You have met with a bipartisan group of members of Congress on Ukraine, and as you know, and as folks watching may know, there are many Republicans who are quite vocal supporters, or have been, of Ukraine. Are they confident? Is that group, that bipartisan group, confident that President Trump is going to stand for a just resolution of the war from the perspective of Ukrainians?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's my sense, so I'm not speaking for anyone else. But, the folks that we met with were members of the parliament in Ukraine, and they talked about the strategic positions that Russia has taken, how valuable that land is in terms of minerals and resources, and what's going to happen to that land. They also talked about the tens of thousands of children that have been taken from them. Yeah. And now those children are in the custody of, in some instances, Russian oligarchs.
It's a kidnapping.
And if our State Department does not act, that would be a huge betrayal, not just to Eastern Europe and global stability, but to the American people who have no patience for that kind of thing. And so my sense is that Congress will put pressure, ultimately, hopefully, on the administration to ensure that Putin is stopped, does not advance further. And, the idea that they would sort of split up land, or he would get Ukraine, just means that there would be a larger war, a broader war in Eastern Europe and Europe in general, which will be incredibly costly to the American people.
I mean, the question is, would Russia take that signal as carte blanche or an invitation, right, to claim the next piece of land, whether that be in Ukraine or elsewhere in Europe?
You don't appease Putin. That is not a path to go down. We did that before in the 40s and the late 30s, where we tried to appease Hitler. It did not work. It won't work with Putin.
Yeah. There's that Churchill quote that an appeaser is someone who feeds the crocodile expecting to be its last meal. Congressman Greg Landsman, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.